Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for an Atlantic League game. It is Alex, and unfortunately, this is a recorded game between Ryan and Browning. Ryan has two games left in his group play. If he wins one of the two, he makes the playoffs. If he wins both, he wins the group, and if he loses both, he's out of the playoffs. So, an important one, and we will get ready to go here. This is we're watching from Ryan's perspective, and he is the USSR. So here is his opening hand, and it's not great. I wouldn't call it garbage by any means, but not particularly good. You've got Nasser as a nice headline. You can coup if you want with a 3-up, or you can spread out and take domination in the Middle East if you so desire. Marshall will probably get held or go to space, and then Fidel and CIA with no other access is nice to have. So CIA can be safely dumped on AR6, perhaps a little bit earlier. We will see, but Ryan will be able to get rid of it painlessly here. So I think a Nasser headline's pretty easy. Oh, that's not a fun card to see. So Ryan now with a tough decision. He no longer can take domination in the Middle East. Ooh. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Ryan decides to event Cambridge 5 on AR1 under Purge and comes up empty. Wow. So Ryan headlines Nasser into Purge and decides to trigger Cambridge 5 event on AR1 and misses. Don't know that I've ever seen that before. Ryan could obviously sad to miss, but perhaps he's happy because he's purged and at least knows that no scorings are going to come this turn. Okay, so Browning for his part goes into Malaysia right away and also puts not just one but two into Iraq. And he does not go into Pakistan, which is interesting. I would have thought maybe one. I might have skipped Malaysia with DEFCON still at 5 and gone 1 Iraq, 2 Pakistan with that 3-up. But whatever the case, Ryan decides he could take the coup, but he'd need a huge roll, and he doesn't have access. So wisely just spreads into Libya, taking the second battleground there. And it's Browning who's going to take the first coup, and he'll miss, rolling the 2. So Ryan still maintains 1 in Libya. Okay, DEFCON at 4 now. Ryan at 1, not in a hurry to lower DEFCON because he's going to have to give up CIA, and he also does not have any access, so he's going to lose Thailand. But he certainly needs to get his mill ops, so we'll see how he handles that. Gabriel, you're rooting against Ryan. You need Ryan to lose both his games. So yes, Gabriel, thank you for joining. Ryan right now is 3-2. If Ryan loses both of his games, he's 3-4, and you make the playoffs. But if Ryan wins one, then he'll be 4-3, and since he beat you, he'll win the tiebreaker over you. So yes, you are rooting hard for Browning. I don't particularly care who wins or loses. I've already locked up my playoff spot, and I'm not in the same group as these guys. If Josiah is watching, Josiah will definitely also be rooting against Ryan. Because Josiah wins the group if Ryan loses this game. Okay, Truman, another coup. Again in Libya. Oh, and he rolls a 6. That's a huge roll. It really probably wasn't going to do anything if it was anything other than a 6. But with a 6, he gets in there on the 1-op coup. Now Ryan looks like he's going to take a coup himself, get the mill ops, and hope for a 4. Oh, and he rolls a 1. Wow. So that is a huge sequence. Ryan gets 6-1 in Libya. Yeah, and Ryan not pleased after eating the purge and eating that coup in Libya. Now Ryan's going to be dominated in the Middle East, probably dominated in Asia as well, given the DEFCON now down to 2. He's also going to be giving up a VP on MilOps unless we see AI war or Korean war triggered here. And yes, that is absolutely right. Jordan, he's going to be behind in all 3 regions. Okay, so there is Suez, which will get Browning Middle East Dom. Now we know obviously Browning does not have any scorings because of the Cambridge 5 play. Ryan's going to space marshal and will just hold de Gaulle for next turn, trying to make some headway in Europe. Browning, as it stands, does have to spend 4 ops just to get domination in Europe. Well, there's a big old 4 op. This should go Thailand. Oh, no, does not go Thailand. Instead goes France. And he'll probably take Thailand on AR6, or maybe he'll probably get one into Thailand right now. Yes, and oftentimes I will check turn 1 on how many extra influence are on the board for each side. And for Ryan, only 2 in Egypt are on the board that weren't there at the start of the game. Ryan, yeah, going to take Syria out. I might have gone Afghanistan there to threaten Pakistan because that way both Pakistan and that way Browning feels pressure to take both Pakistan and Thailand. But I can certainly understand the Syria play. Getting Egypt poked there would be very bad. Okay, and another 4 op, so a huge hand here for Browning. He had 3 4 ops. He had Purge, NATO, and NTB. Ryan had Marshall, but he had to space it, and he missed on the roll. So the only one left is US-Japan. Ryan does not get it. Ryan also does get Asia scoring, so he can dump that in the headline if he so desires for no score because Browning did not take Pakistan. Yes, and JR points out that Ryan has lost 3 influence in Europe, so he netted 0 influence on the board. Okay, so Asia scoring pretty reasonable here. I think Asia would be my headline. You're going to get it off for 0. There's no way you're scoring Asia Dom. Sock Govs is fine, but I don't think you're, even with Truman gone, you're not fighting for West Germany with this hand. So I think I like an Asia headline, a coup of Iran, and then a D-stall on AR2. That would be my line of play. And there's Asia. Okay, defectors. So Ryan, happy to see defectors there. Asia was 0 points anyway. And here comes Sock Govs. Ryan really wants a 5, gets a 4, and so that is good enough to help him fight in Asia. We'll see if Browning takes that back. Browning's got an interesting decision here. D-stall in Ryan's hand. Ryan's other problem is he does not have any D-stall food. Oh, well, just as I say that, now he does. Okay, there's 3 in Iran, so Browning going to be able to reestablish his domination in the Middle East, but Ryan now has the chance to get into Pakistan first if he likes. And I think I would do exactly that. Yep, and with the war in hand, does not have to worry about getting kicked out of there. So yeah, I think I would delay my D-stall a turn and give up special, which is mildly annoying because now de Gaulle doesn't even break control of France. Yeah, this is fine too. Yeah, I like this. With Thailand firmly blue, you're going to want to make sure you pick up South Korea. So don't want Browning to be able to dump the war and take South Korea. So I like this. Yeah, so Browning put France at 3, but once he saw de Gaulle, he made sure to jack it up to 5, which I think was a good play on his part. Okay, so Ryan has been able to, is now evened out Asia, still behind in the Middle East and Europe. And Browning could have one or both of those scorings. Now we're about to see. So Ryan hoping to not see Colombia here, hoping not to see Angola. And also hoping not to see Europe. So 5 easy VPs for Browning. And then this should be, I think it's time for D-stall. So D-stall into, I think, Angola, Venezuela, Chile. And then the fourth could go into Angola, Venezuela, Chile, I think are easy. Fourth could go into Nigeria. It could go into Laos. Could go into Brazil if you want to be conservative. I don't think Algeria does much for you with France sitting at 5. Nigeria or Laos would be my play. But we will see what Ryan goes with. Laos also helps stop the march into Western Asia. Ryan doesn't have the ops to take India this turn, so he does not want Browning to sneak over there and take it himself. Yeah, I like Nigeria or Laos. Ryan gonna go Brazil. Very conservative play, but wants to make sure he gets that foothold in South America. Oh, now he's gonna redo it. Yeah, that's yeah. The D-stall always takes a while to do, and 3 of the 4 are patently obvious here. You've got to go Angola, you've got to go Venezuela, you've got to go Chile, yeah, and he does go Brazil. So a little worried about the realigns. Also potentially worried about a Colombia play and a Venezuela poker jam AR6. Doesn't want to deal with that with the lack of ops in his hand. I wouldn't call it cowardly, Ryan. I just I might have been a little more aggressive. Yeah, okay, yeah, and a good play. That looks like a good play now from Ryan because right away he goes right away. Browning goes Colombia and pokes Pakistan. So Ryan now going to have to protect both of those countries. And yeah, we could see. Now we'll see if Browning goes into India. I think he certainly will. And then maybe pokes Venezuela. Ryan with the war, and I think if Browning goes into India, or especially if he takes it, we will see the war triggered. I think Ryan would prefer to just play it for ops and shore up some of these areas where he is high on access but light on ops. Thank you for tuning in, Ryan. We appreciate it, even if it's just brief. Okay, and there's one into India. Okay, so not particularly worth. Not worth the war with just one in India. And Ryan going to event blockade here, which is interesting. D-stall is gone, but we've also seen all 3 Europe attack cards. So Browning's not going to have a good discard here. Warsaw perhaps, I believe, is the only red card left in the deck to discard. So Browning, if he has D-stall or decall, is going to have to space it here. And he's going to have to discard a guilt-free or nearly guilt-free 3. Yep, and there is Warsaw. And there's AI War, which he now has to trigger. Okay, I'm going to take a 3rd battleground in the Middle East. That really doesn't change the domination situation, though. And Ryan going to use IP War to get one into India, as well as putting overprotecting Venezuela, even with just the one in Brazil. And we'll see if Browning has decall and is going to space it. Ryan, interestingly, did not get into Zaire, although CIA is gone, and Ryan is not going to be able to do anything like flip France with de Gaulle. Okay, it has to give Vietnam, but not a huge deal here. Not going to affect domination. We'll see. Yeah, wow, put a fourth into Thailand. Really worried about decall.
My country's purpose is to help us move out.
And Ryan gets decall, also picks up containment and Korean War. Korean War is an important pickup here with South Korea still contested. So Ryan, no doubt happy about this. Browning does get U.S.-Japan, so he does get the final 4-op. So 4 4-ops to 1 for Browning. Ryan also picks up defectors as a redraw, so he could headline decall here if he wanted to. I'm not sure it does a ton in the headline, but I also don't think there's a better headline out there. Browning likely headlining Middle East scoring. The Middle East would be my clear headline, maybe probably even over Purge. Get off that guaranteed domination. You don't want to allow a coup in Libya AR1. Although I guess, you know what, Duck is a good headline here as well for Browning. Yeah, and there's Middle East, so that's going to be a nice 4 VP for Browning. So yeah, Algeria, Nigeria make perfect sense. I don't know if we have to go Zaire. You could just go one in each of the Southeast Asian countries. Just to force Browning to spend a couple of ops there. But Browning does have USJ. Okay, yeah, it ends up going Lao. And then here's SOC Govs. SOC Govs could be an event, but I think Ryan needs the ops. Doesn't really make much sense to try Middle East after it's scored. And he gets a big roll and flips over Panama. So Ryan down 8 VPs, could become 13 if Browning has Europe. And that's 6. That's 6 in Libya, looming large. Any other role, and Ryan would have been able to even out the Middle East. But as it is, he gives up 4 VPs. So that is tough. That's a tough break for Ryan. And here's a 3-op. Secure Lao and go to Algeria. Ryan. Okay, gonna play China. Thinking about playing China to lock up contested battlegrounds in Asia. I think letting Algeria go is wise, given that it's a good realigned target anyway. Ryan also has picked up IP war, so he knows Browning's not going to get Millops here. I think I would rather see India here. Okay, worried about the realigns. So Browning knows that Ryan has Korean War. He does not know about IP war, though. So perhaps Ryan trying to bait Browning into taking India, and then he will trigger the war. Yes, Korean War is known. IP war is not known. Also, I believe Browning has captured Nazi scientist. Ryan is going to want to space as soon as possible. Okay, and there's Warsaw. That was a redraw. And he locks up Algeria and South Africa while leaving Asia alone. So yeah, Yugoslavia seems fine here. Ryan gets rid of independent Reds in time, and Ryan spaces defectors and misses. So Browning had the opportunity to trigger capture Nazi there, didn't do it, but he's not going to pay for it. What he will do is pick up another VP, another 2 VPs there. He'll give him back on Millops. So looks like we're going to go into turn 4 with an 8 VP US lead, but Ryan should have South America. It will be in great shape in South America, and we'll have a foothold in Africa, 3 battlegrounds to 2, although we will see, obviously, a turn 4 voice could be devastating, as it almost always is. Scott, yeah, the stakes of this game. Ryan, if Ryan wins this game, so Browning has been eliminated from playoff contention. He is 2-3-1. Ryan, if he wins this game, clinches the playoffs, and has a chance to win the group if he beats Josiah. If Ryan loses this game, he can't win the group. Josiah wins the group, and he needs to win. He needs to beat Josiah just to make the playoffs. So very, very important game for Ryan. Maybe not that important, JR. So containment and UN both known in Ryan's hand. IP war is not. There's de Gaulle, which is nearly free. So a little bit tricky here. I think Ryan going to play IP war for ops. No reason to give up an early containment. But that will kind of open up India. Thinking about a China play here. CIA is gone. Yeah, this is fine. I don't know. I do believe Browning has a 4-op available. I believe that Browning has U.S.-Japan. So we could just use U.S.-Japan right here to take India. Now, it might make Ryan a little bit uncomfortable in Asia, but Ryan would still be ahead in Battlegrounds 3-2. I don't know that I see a better use of 4-ops. Yeah, okay, now there, just going to put 2 in there. Okay, and Ryan with containment. Ryan will use containment here. I suspect he's going to let India go and just take South America control. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. And I think that's the right play. So Browning now with containment, with a boost from containment, and he knew he was going to get that containment boost. So I don't think we will see U.S.-Japan here. I think we'll have another card that can take advantage of containment. Now, de Gaulle is gone. Ryan also just played Sock-Govs for ops, so France probably could be left at 4-1, but you could also see an ABM flip of France if it's not overprotected. Yeah, Max, a nice Muslim revolution in the mid-war would be nice, although Middle East is scored. Oh, I think that's a mistake by Browning. Browning knew... I think Browning knew the containment was coming, and he used a 4-op on AR6. Okay, this is garbage. And Browning, I believe that Browning has captured Nazi scientist. He had all the opportunity in the world to get it off, and wasn't able to do it. So okay. But he takes a double break of Venezuela to stop control in South America. So, yeah, South African is good, would give Ryan domination in Africa. Lone Gunman's good, would reestablish control in South America. Would obviously also let... Oh, boy. Central scoring and Europe scoring along with ABM. Oh my goodness. What a hand here. And not to mention Che, which is not quite free but close. Just gives the 1 coup. This is a disaster. Ryan now purged and stuck with grain and VOA. I bet he's very glad he did not use China last turn. So Ryan at this point can UN grain, play China, hold VOA. Ryan's definitely giving up VP in Europe. He's given up 5 VPs in Europe. He's going to want to get Fidel off as soon as he possibly can for central purposes. I would coup Venezuela here. You have no follow. You only have one op to follow up, so you need a 6 in Algeria, and then you'd need to spend. I would coup Venezuela here. I don't. Well, yeah, you can. Yes, Max, you can repair Venezuela, but I think you want to play Fidel on AR1. So I don't think you want to spend AR1 repairing Venezuela. I think you want to spend AR1 playing Fidel. Algeria has to be a 6. Although I suppose. Oh, he gets the 6. Oh my goodness, he gets the 6, and now he can repair both with China. Wow. So yeah, Ryan was certainly going to play China anyway. And so now he uses it to take back Venezuela, take Algeria. Wow. Huge roll. And so I don't think, now at this point, I don't think Browning is going to score central right here. So Ryan should have a little time to get Fidel off. We might see an ABM of Brazil. I don't know though. Protecting Brazil is that great because it's about to get cooed with ABM, so it's not going to get jammed. It's going to get cooed. I get a Brazil jam could happen, but I think a Brazil coup with ABM is far more likely. This is not going to be a fun turn for Ryan. Okay, there's ABM. I think this should just go Brazil. Yeah, there it goes. And he gets the big roll. And yeah, this is awkward because Ryan wants to coup Colombia. But if he does, he just gave away a free Che. Yeah, so now we will see Che. But I also think Ryan doesn't want to give up a free Che, but I also think he'd be very happy if this turn devolved into a Colombia coup war. Because Browning has to... Browning's got two scoring... Browning's got a pretty good hand, but he's got 2 scoring cards in it. Okay, and there he decides to go Uruguay. Okay, now I don't think I'd respond to that. I think I'd just play Fidel here. Fidel's burning a hole in my pocket a little bit. Yeah, so Browning gave up the free... Browning played the free Che so that he could... Because he wanted to go into Uruguay and protect Brazil. Ryan now takes Africa domination, perhaps threatening the scoring there. Okay. And now that should take back South Africa. Oh, and Tunisia sets up realigns on Algeria. Now Ryan gets Fidel off. Okay, so Browning now with, I don't remember his entire hand, but he's got Muslim in his hand, which has to be spaced. He's got Captured Nazi, which was an event, and then he's got Central, which is going to be -2. So good on Ryan for getting Fidel in there for an extra 2 VP. So Ryan is going to space, and he's going to miss. Browning had has had captured Nazi scientists at least 2 turns now, and Ryan has had 2 space shots before, and he missed them both. So frustrating rolls for Ryan for sure. So yeah, this has to be this. Oh, and he gets a big roll on the realign. So yeah, this has been a tough turn for Ryan. He did lose Brazil, and he lost the 5 VPs on Europe, but he did get 2 huge rolls in Africa that have him on the doorstep of control. Finally, there comes CNS for 2 more VPs. Yep, and when in doubt, just put an op in a battleground. So Ryan down 11 VPs, but he's got a nice unscored domination in South America. He's got a nice unscored domination in Africa. And at the moment, in Asia is positive for him as well. Okay, just a 1-op realign at +1, and there goes Algeria, although Ryan does still have access there. So both of Browning's dominations are scored. Neither of Ryan's are scored. And here's more garbage. 1 small step, potentially nice, and Ryan happy to see Africa in his hand. I suppose it's Quagmire? Quagmire, you coup, and then you take Algeria back? Ryan probably very happy to see CRGs in his hand because that would be a devastating headline from Browning. CRG and Voice both would be very strong, and they are both in Ryan's hand. Okay, so Southeast Asia, not the scoring Ryan wanted to see. There's 4 more VPs. Now at 15, Browning still doesn't have a path to winning the game in 1 AR. There's nothing that's going to give him 5 VPs. So I think you coup, you take Algeria, and you try and get Africa control off. Yeah, needs a huge roll here. Oh, and he gets it! Another huge 6. So now Ryan can take, with U2 incident, can take both Brazil and Algeria. 2 6s for Ryan on rolls that had to be a 6. And as well a 6 for Browning on a roll in Libya that also had to be a 6. So some huge 6s and not only 6s, but 6s at huge moments. Okay, now Ryan will want to take South Africa for control if he's being greedy, but he's going to be out of ops if he does that. So we'll see what Browning decides to do. This is already a nice scoring for Ryan. It's going to be 7. Taking South Africa would make it 10. So yeah, and then Ryan also, and there's Brush. Okay, so this should be in South, no, going to be Algeria right away. And there's another 6, although we only needed a 3. Yeah, I would just score. South Africa at this point is just 1 VP. I think I would score Africa, take my 5, and be done. Arms race is a problem now for Ryan. I think you've got to take 5 VPs and get yourself a little breathing room on the VP track. Yep, and there it goes. So a good brush roll. And now Ryan doesn't... CRGs is unacceptable here, even with Africa scored. Voice is unacceptable here, even with Africa scored. So I think this is probably a self-trap hand. We'll see what Ryan decides to do. Okay, there's another coup. We'll see Colombia. ABM and Brush are gone. Junta is still around. Yeah, I think this has to be a self-trap because if you space... I guess you could event 1 small step and try and double space. But that's the best scenario. Best case scenario is you event 1 small step now and you try the double. But yes, CRG and voice are both very, very bad here. And that is unfortunate. Ryan misses. We'll see. This is a huge moment because Ryan doesn't want to give up either of these cards. That was a gamble. Okay. 2/3 shot at it, and he hits. Yeah, I think you self-trap here. I think you self-trap, and you hope you get out in one. CRG's is really bad, but Ryan thinks differently. He's going to give up CRG. Figuring that the region is scored. Southeast Asia also scored, to be fair. So CRGs only affect scored regions. Okay, there's a coup of Colombia. And yet Ryan has to give this up. He'll hang on to Bear Trap. So Grain, Voice, CRG, Camp David, Special, all gone. That's almost all of the bad US2s. Puppet's still around, but it's not going to do a ton. Yeah, and this is going to cost Ryan at least one battleground in Africa. South African and Portuguese are also both gone. So yeah, I think you do this. That hurts. That hurts. I think I would have self-trapped there. But self-trapping probably cost you a battleground. Ooh, and that is a very unfortunate Muslim revolution. That's going to be 7 influence lost in the Middle East. Now, this is right. This is the right play. And we'll see what Browning decides to do. Maybe get one back into it. Maybe take Nigeria, get at least one back into Iran. Nope. Forget about all of that. Just going to jam. And Ryan does not get Junta, and he does not get the scoring. But a pretty good hand here. He gets Missile Envy, which is free with We Will Bury You in hand. Gets Marshall, which at this point Ryan's given up on Europe. So a couple of 4-ops there. Bear Trap, this is not likely to be a self-trap hand. You can space Bear Trap, trigger EU, maybe hang on to 5-year plan. Space also becomes very important here. But yeah, We Will Bury You, quite a reasonable headline. I believe, yes, UN is gone, so We Will Bury You is 3 VPs, and then you fix up Brazil. You just hope the scoring doesn't get headlined against you, but of course you're hoping Junta doesn't get headlined against you too, because We Will Bury You is not going to stop Junta into Brazil and then a realign of Venezuela. So we will bury you is pretty good here. But yeah, We Will Bury You, take Brazil back, take Nigeria back. And he scores South America. So Browning gets... So Browning gets South off for just 3. Yeah, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And now Asia, the only unscored region. And neither player really in position to score domination there. So that doesn't necessarily mean that Browning doesn't have Junta. Browning very well could still have it, and he just wanted to get the scoring out. So, lots to do here for Browning. India is contested with Asia being the only unscored region on the board. Iran is contested here. So Ryan's going to want to shore that up. Browning also, very good chance he has gunmen because he gave up Muslim Revolution there, which was quite painful. Yeah, JR, I agree with this. I liked self-trapping a lot more than the people I watch. And I would have self-trapped there. But in the end, Ryan didn't really pay for it. He got Nigeria back, got Zaire back, got Angola back, although they all now have blue influence in them, so they can be flipped. So India contested here with Asia unscored. Iran is important. Space also very important. And Ryan has a handful of space cards. Oh, here we go with China right away. I'm a little confused by that. I'm a little confused by that. I don't know. I don't think I understand the. I don't think I understand the need to jam South Korea. With Korean War, I believe, is in the discard, so it could come back in the late war. If I think, and Ryan seems to think as well, that Browning is using China because he wants to immediately get rid of cultural. So Ryan wants to give China back to him face down. Yeah, I like this. I would have just used China to take India. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes, I'm drunk. Thank you. Thank you, Tomash and Max. Yes, I'm drunk. Ryan headlined Gunman turn 4, so he's gone. So Browning obviously had something else he really didn't want to play because I was very surprised. My point stands that that was a very painful Muslim revolution for Browning. So he had something else he didn't want to play. But you are correct. It obviously wasn't Gunman. Okay. So Browning gets South Korea, but Ryan will take India. Yeah, I like this better. Just take Iran. Korean War is in the discard pile, so could come back in the late war. Obviously, IP War can come back as well, but Browning has number one. Browning has Burma, so the odds are better on the odds. The odds are worse on India than for Ryan than they would be on Korea. And not only that, of course, the play in taking India would make your own IP war stronger if you do draw it. So I don't know if I like the trade on Browning's part to take South Korea instead of India, but we'll see how it plays out. No, I'm definitely not drunk at all. I'm just saying stupid things, Alex. Okay, and there's a 3-op, so shuttle flips over Angola, and okay, yeah, checking for Olympics and Summit in the discard, and they are there. This is quite a late missile envy. Saudi seems like an important country here. Well, I wonder what Ryan's hoping to see. Yeah, he's hoping to see that. Okay, so a nice play there from Ryan to get Nixon out for essentially free. And then you see cultural, and so Ryan is able to get China back. Yes, it's been a tough day for Ryan on the space track. He said I believe he said 4 shots at 2 VPs, and he has missed them all. Well played, though, by Ryan to get China, giving China back with Nixon and getting it out of the deck essentially for free, and then playing Missile Envy to get cultural. Now, Ryan does need to be careful here in Asia. He's up 3 battlegrounds to 2, but a flip of one of those battlegrounds would give Browning domination with the scoring to come. So if I were Ryan, I might just overprotect all 3 on AR7. Yes, the Pope is unseen. That is correct, Jordan. And Warsaw is gone. Puppet event. What's that going to go? Afghanistan, Nicaragua, Haiti? Oh, no. All Africa to set up multiple realigns there. Okay, yeah. A coup of Cameroon stops the realigns. Stops realigns on Nigeria, stops realigns on Zaire. But it leaves those Asian battlegrounds not in great shape. So now, yeah, and then Poland is going to go down to 4. So the Pope is a very good play here, and just poking Pakistan also a pretty good play. That's a big threat. And yet Browning is not going to space. Okay, OAS also interesting, but only affects scored region. Okay, so Ryan picks up VPs there on Milops. Ryan gets Junta and Asia. And a lot of other bad stuff. So Alliance. Yeah, so this is going to be a tricky hand for Ryan, but he'll be able to manage these cards. I think Usuri has to go to space, and then with Nixon gone, you've got China the rest of the game. 5-year plan can dump Panama Canal. The Pope you're going to have to trigger and repair. But yeah, I think this is just a nice easy junta. I guess 5-year plan's going to have to dump nuke subs. Or you can hold on to 5-year plan, but I really don't like holding on to 5-year plan into the late war. Ryan perhaps looking for defectors. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think defectors may be known in Browning's hand. Yeah, Willie is just a VP, doesn't really do anything. You could headline Asia here, but if it runs into voice, you just lose the game. Okay, there's Sadat, so I must have just missed defectors. Yeah, okay, so you take the coup in Mexico, hope to roll a 3 at least. Just needs a 3. Okay, well, that 2 is not a 3. And then Alliance is now free, so you use Alliance to take back Brazil, Argentina, and then you can put one somewhere else, presumably Mexico. China? You're going to take Mexico? Interesting. I don't know that I'd be so quick to give away the China card. But maybe Ryan figures he wants to, that he will just deal with the Usuri consequences and space nuke subs. Or potentially the Pope, and he just figures... I don't know. Interesting to see what the chat thinks about this. Alliance is free here, but Ryan obviously barring Brush or ABM, alliance will be free next AR as well. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. I like this better. But you do have a lot of cards in your hand that are unpleasant. And so playing China would perhaps alleviate some of this mess. And once Asia scored, even with the battlegrounds not overprotected, triggering Usuri is not that bad with Browning having China face down, Asia scored. So, okay, going to give Alliance for 0 VPs, and then that will allow Browning to take back Mexico, but Ryan then will get the first space shot. Not sure what's in Browning's hand, but a flip of Nigeria is also possible. Believe Brown, yeah, a reshuffle happened. So a reshuffle happened, and Ryan didn't get any cards other than. Ryan didn't get any cards after the reshuffle. Browning only got one card after the reshuffle. Okay, one in Africa stops Dom. It's interesting. Yeah, okay. He's going to space, and Ryan misses again. I believe that's 5. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan has missed every space shot. And they've all been for 2 VPs. So Ryan needs to overprotect. Ryan needs to get Asia scored. I think he'll want to get that scored as soon as possible because Browning knows Ryan's entire hand and knows that it is not good. Okay, big old 4-op. Yeah, and there's a flip of Nigeria, which is going to change domination. Now Ryan probably has to realign Angola. Well, that'll work. South Africa at +3 is reasonable. Uruguay at +1 is reasonable. Okay. So Ryan's got to be anxious to get Asia scoring out of his hand. Okay, that is inactive. Okay, big coup. The Cameroon, not that important now. Okay, and there's arms race, which Ryan knew about, but there was nothing he could do. Okay, and there's the Pope, which he's just going to have to give up. And I'm sure Ryan would like to poke something with nuke subs, but there's not really a lot of good poke targets. And beyond that, Ryan also... Okay, there's Browning space shots, and he hits. So that's very frustrating. Yeah. Ryan not pleased. So this has to fix Venezuela. And then Ryan, is going to have to give up nuke subs here unless he gives up China. And Ryan needs mill ops of his own, so he can't really poke anything. Omit could be huge if it hits South America. ABM and Africa. Okay, well, Ryan probably happy about that because he likely would have eaten a coup in Africa here. Now he might eat a coup in South America. Yeah, I think I'd coup Colombia here because South America is probably about to get couped, so you want to make sure you have Dom. Okay. Ryan is in some pretty serious trouble here. He's down 11 VPs. He's ahead battlegrounds in Central America, and he's got control of South. And yeah, okay, so we're going to see this should be Brazil. There it is. Okay, only enough to break it. That would have flipped over Africa domination, though, but Browning dumped the scoring. Okay, Ryan does have China, although Gunman is gone. So no DEFCON problems for, okay. These two scorings are not the ones that Ryan wanted to see.
Becomes a contagious disease.
Oh, okay. So Ryan can I suppose Ryan at this point is going to headline SOC Govs and dump Europe. But yeah, at this point, Ryan's down 11. Europe is 5. Middle East is 4. So that would be GG if he got both these scorings off. So yeah, I think this has to be SOC Govs. Oh, that is rough. Yeah, so that'll go Brazil for sure. I have to imagine. And then where else? Yep, Panama is fine. Ryan has to dump Europe. So now Browning can either take a coup or take Panama. Yep, going to take the coup, and where is he going to do it? He's going to take the coup in Panama and miss entirely. Okay, so Ryan can get Panama back. That still doesn't have to solve the problem of he's going to have to give up 4 VPs in the Middle East. I think this could be 2 Panama, 1 Saudi, maybe? Or maybe 2 Panama, 1 Nicaragua, given that you want to take Dom. But and maybe you go Nicaragua here to bait out a coup of Nicaragua, and then you get Che off. Yeah, Gabriel points that out correctly. If Browning headlines SOC Govs, then Ryan would have to. Then Ryan would definitely have to get. If Browning headlines Iron Lady, Ryan SOC Govs is canceled. Ryan has to give up the 5 VPs in Europe. He's also going to probably give up VPs in the Middle East. Plus, of course, the VP for the card itself. Yep. And if he had headline peak, I'm sure he would have done that. But yeah, I think I would have liked to see Nicaragua here. Saudi makes sense too, but it's not going to change the domination picture is the issue. Okay, coup of Colombia. Doesn't really do anything. Trying to set up realigns or maybe a domination. I think that's fine, but I think I would have scored Central. I think if Browning had Central, he would have scored it there. I like that play a little less now. Now I might have just taken Saudi. Ooh, okay. Yeah, you can space. Ryan misses again on space. Okay, well, Lad's not going to do much when Ryan rolls a 6. And a 5. Wow, all right. So Ryan coups with authority. Yeah, I'm not sure what Ryan's path back is. He needs to get South America off for 5, Central off for 4. Even if he were able to magically get both those off immediately, Browning would still be in War Games territory. There's really no path to fighting in Europe. Africa's gone for the game. And there's also really no path to fighting for Asia down. We've only got 4 countries to 6 and could be easily 8 with Malaysia and Philippines for Browning. So you're ahead battlegrounds, but that region's not likely to get better. Okay, Lads was a big miss here for Browning. Yeah, and Ryan's just got to score the Middle East here. You could take Saudi with terrorism, but I think you are safe. I think we're holding terrorism at this point to try and get it doubled and do some damage with it next turn. Maybe with a purge. Oh boy. Oh boy. Venezuela? Yep, Venezuela. And he misses with the 3. Gives up the 2 on flower power. Yes, okay. So it looks like he's going to hold on to AWACS in hopes of maybe Muslims changing things in the Middle East. He really needs to get, Muslims would be huge, but obviously getting a doubled terror would also be important. Yeah, Muslims is around, so giving up AWACS is quite painful. But the lure of potentially getting a doubled terrorism is also nice with all the China events gone. Ooh, big IP war. So another 2 VPs for Ryan. Okay, so we can include that in his path back. He just got back. He just got all 4 of his all the Middle East VPs back with flower power. Okay, this hand is much better. I'm sure he would like to see the war cards in Browning's hand after flower power. But Reformer is good. Korean War would be nice. Would be nice to win. And then you've got UN. I think Reformer is a fine headline just to turn off Glasnow. So you're never going to get ahead in the VP track. So 4 VPs from Flower Power for Ryan. That he will not be getting any more with the both remaining war cards in his own hand. Reformer is fine just to turn off Glasnost, I think. Korean War is good, but that can be any time. Iran-Iraq War is good too. Okay, well, nice South America headline. So there's another 5 for Ryan. Okay, well, Ryan really needed to win that war. He doesn't. Olympics, you can, yeah, okay, so you can UN AWACS, still looking for Muslims, and try a big coup in Central America. The headline of a scoring does generally, sometimes can suggest that he has another scoring. So, yeah, I like taking this shot. You need a 5. You've got to have a 5. And he gets another 6. Wow. Huge roll for Ryan. So, a big roll when he had to have one. Now, Ryan, at this point, if Browning has Central and doesn't have Aldrich, we've very much got a ball game, and Ryan would be ahead here. Okay, Ortega. So that, I'm sure Browning happy to get rid of that. Now he can contest Cuba if he wants to. Wonder if we'll just see some real lines in Mexico. I think that would be my play. Is try a couple desperation shots in Mexico. No, nope. Just going to coup Nicaragua. I think I might ignore that. Yeah, okay. I want to get Korean War off. Iran-Contra scandal event might have also been good there. That might have been a better play. Yeah, I like Iran-Contra here. I think it's a fine event. Okay, here comes the war, and he misses that one as well. Ryan really would have liked to hit one of those two wars, particularly the Iran-Iraq war, which would have evened up Middle East. Korean War would have been nice. The 2 VPs plus 2 more for the battleground and final, but it wasn't going to change domination. But Iran-Iraq war absolutely would have changed domination in the Middle East. So Ryan got the big roll on Mexico, but a 4 would have been acceptable in Iraq and in North Korea, and he didn't get it. Just event this. Just event this. Right? Anybody in the chat? No? Okay. Yeah, now Cuba's in some trouble. Oh, huge miss. Yeah, I don't understand why Ryan didn't event Iran-Contra. Okay, now he just takes the +2 realigns and clears him out in 1. Oh, and he gets him out of Mexico as well. Now this has to be a coup. Wow. Central control was on the table. Yeah, I think I would have. So I guess I would have given. I would have triggered Iran-Contra after the Nicaragua coup, when I had Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, and Panama. I think I would have triggered it then. You know, if Mexico would have been -1, Cuba also would have been -1. There's no way he's realigning in response to that, and then he's got to do way more work. And then Brown has got to do way more work. He's got to get both Nicaragua and Haiti, just to get +1 shots. And then Mexico becomes -1. Feel like he had plenty of time to do that. Ryan, no doubt frustrated on missing those wars, though. Okay, so Browning now with back-to-back ARs here. Ryan is way down. So Ryan only has 4 countries in Africa to 6. So he needs a couple of coups there. Every region is scored other than Central, which is about to be even. Or maybe even blue domination, presuming that Browning has some guilt-free ops to play. Ooh, salt for VOA. Yeesh. Okay. So Browning can play VOA here, or you can hold it to turn 10. Oh, and he's going to play We Will Bury You. Interesting. Okay, could have just spaced We Will Bury You, but he's going to play We Will Bury You, trying to get a Panama coup, and he's going to miss. So that's going to be 3 VPs. Could have, I believe UN is gone, and he could have salted for it, played it on AR1. Oh, boy. Okay, an active Star Wars, Grain, and an active Cal. He does get Muslims, which is nice. Oh. So, yeah, so this is, I think, a clear Libs headline. It's a clear Libs headline, and then I think you're using... Now, 5-year plan and terrorism are gone. So there's no DEFCON problem. He can space one of the bad DEFCON cards, play China, and hold the other two. So because terrorism, gone, Grain in hand here, and 5-year plan also gone. But of course, the other issue with using Cal to poke South Korea is if you do that, that puts Browning immediately in War Games territory. So I don't think Ryan wants... Oh, no, it does not because of We Will Bury You. It does not. Because We Will Bury You will trigger for the 3 VPs. Ooh, EEU is not so good. Yep, that's clear. And then I'm sure, I criticized the choice from Browning earlier. I criticized him for flipping South Korea when he could have just taken India much more painlessly. But now I'm sure Ryan would love to play Cal here, lower DEFCON, and take Cuba. But he can't do that. He would have to... He can play Cal. He can play Cal without putting Browning in War Games territory because of We Will Bury You. Okay, going to take a coup of Nigeria instead and flip it. All right. Ryan's still behind in country count in Africa. Although, no, he's tied in country count, but wants to... Okay, now Browning probably will want to take Cuba, and Ryan just has to hope that Browning has the scoring. And then we might see a big fight for Europe because Browning does have VOA to play on AR7. Unless, of course, Browning has to play VOA on AR6 because he wants to Aldrich away Aldrich away Central on AR7. Because I do not believe we've seen Aldrich. Ryan also now, with 3 DEFCON cards in his hand, has to give Kennedy. But if Browning is planning on playing Voice AR7, then Kennedy is free. US-Japan also is an issue. Yeah, US-Japan could be a major issue for Ryan because that evens up the battleground count 3-3 in Asia. So just one VOA op or a poke stops would give Asia Dom to Browning. So yeah, Ryan in some trouble here. Ryan needs Browning to have Central and not Aldrich. Okay. Yeah, this should just take Cuba. Okay. Yeah, I think Ryan has to take... Ryan knows that VOA is coming AR7, so I think he needs to really mess with Europe. I think, yeah, you got to take Poland back and go 1 West Germany, I think. I like Poland and 1 West Germany. You have to play China here. You have to play U.S. Japan. Muslims is, I don't know if it's a great event. Could be. Ryan really needed to win one of those wars. Winning Korean War would have been huge in Asia. Would have stopped any consideration of Browning getting domination. But yeah, I think this is the right play. Solidarity is around, but EEU gone, tear down gone. Birth the Turtle. I wonder if this will just go 3 West Germany. Yes, it will. If Ryan has the space, he'll do it. Yeah. Ryan missed every space roll. Now that one in particular didn't matter. That one did not matter. So Ryan needs, so Browning needs Millops. Ryan needs one more country in Africa to get domination. He's down 6-5, so he needs to flip something or he needs to take 2 countries. He doesn't have a good coup card left, though. Also, I guess I shouldn't say that. That space roll did matter because it would have deactivated Star Wars. Now, Ryan can still hold Star Wars. He's not going to lose the game over it. But would stop him from having to give up U.S. Japan. Okay, and there's a miss on the realigns. Yeah, Ryan would have liked, never mind. Ryan would have liked to hit that space roll and coot Cameroon with Star Wars. That would have been a very nice outcome for Ryan. Kennedy AR-7 is free with voice in Browning's hand because Browning won't want to risk, won't obviously, there's no way Browning's going to hold both voice and central to AR-7. Yeah, getting a third in Mexico would be really important if voice it wasn't going to get played AR-7. But I think voice is going to get played AR-7. Yeah, Ryan just doesn't have... Yeah, Ryan is looking around and not find... He's got 2 dominations to just 1 for Browning. Africa's positive as well, and Ryan may be able to stop this Middle East dom with Muslims, but VOA is going to be just too strong here. 1 in Central America stops dom and is a 4 VP swing. 1 in Asia is going to wind up giving Browning dom. Yeah, VOA is just going to be really it's just going to be too good here. I don't now if Browning has to use VOA AR-6 and Aldrich Central AR-7, then maybe he has a chance. Yeah, overprotecting North Korea and Pakistan is good, but you're also going to have to overprotect India by the end of the turn, or it doesn't matter. You have to overprotect all of them. I think 2 West Germany's fine, or at least 1 West Germany, because at this point, Browning can spend 2 ops and just poke in Europe to get domination, but obviously he won't do that AR-7. I don't mind taking Saudi here. I don't mind putting one in West Germany. I don't mind protecting Asian battlegrounds. But if you're going to overprotect one, you've got to overprotect them all. You don't have to do it on this AR, of course, because you have a 4-op play here. You've got another 4-op play with China. You've got another 4-op play with Muslims if you don't event it. And then you've got a 3-op play. So Ryan's not short on ops. And if Browning didn't have VOA, I feel like Browning pretty clearly has this. Or excuse me, I feel like Ryan pretty clearly has this. But this board is so susceptible to VOA. Also worth noting that Browning needs mill ops. So that could matter. Okay, so Ryan ends up going to West Germany and going into Saudi. So looking at the board now, Central's 4. South. Okay, well, let's just resolve this. So Portuguese doesn't give Ryan Dom. Okay, so looking at the board right now, the Americas are 9 for Ryan. Africa's 3 more for Ryan, so that's 12 for Ryan. Asia's even. Middle East is now Ryan's Dom, so that's 15 for Ryan. After this, 15 VPs for Ryan. Plus 2, 17 for Millops, and then Europe is 0. So if Ryan clicks confirm here, he's up 17 VPs. There's no point in doing another one in Mexico, unless you're also going to do another one in Panama. Because just one there is a 4 VP swing. So anyway, 3 in Africa, 4 in Central, 5 in South is 12 for Ryan. Asia's even. Then Middle East is -4 for Ryan. So Ryan up 8 on the board, and Europe is even. So Ryan up 8 on the board, -3. So Ryan up 5. And then he's about to give up China. Okay, yeah, because he has to overprotect everything. I think Muslims has to be evented, so I like doing it now. Maintain your flexibility. This is going to be a very interesting finish. Ryan would clearly have this game if Browning didn't have VOA. So if Ryan does this, the mid-war regions are 12 together. Middle East is 3 more for Ryan, so that's 15. Board is +15 Ryan, +17 because of mill ops. Now 1 op in Europe is 5 VPs. Obviously, Ryan's going to have to give up China. Okay, so Ryan is now +17. If the game ended right now, Ryan up 17. We'll see what kind of hand Browning has before his VOA. Yeah. Sorry, Ryan up. No, I think I am wrong. Ryan is up 12, 15, 17 on the board. Yes, board is the board is Ryan um, plus 17 when you count mill ops. It's 14 because of the 3 already on the board. Okay, CRG's. I don't know what the 1 in Iraq does, but okay. Ryan, yeah, okay. Ryan now up 12, plus they're in the Middle East. It's up 15. Ryan up 10 on the board, 12 with Millops, 13 with China, and then -3. So Ryan -3 because that's what's on the VP track right now. So Ryan up 10 at this point with 2 ARs to go. And Ryan with a 4-op play and a 3-op play. But we know Browning has VOA. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand the Iraq play. I would have gone if we were going to do that. I would have gone Egypt instead. But the CRG event, normally quite strong turn 10, does really nothing here. Ryan is not going to be able to get domination in Africa. Oh, Ryan's going to go real lines. Okay, he hits, and so that stops presence in South America. Okay, so Ryan now... Okay, hits that, and that does give him domination. All right. So that was huge. So Ryan now stops... Oh, my goodness. Wow. And that's how it ends. Oh my goodness. That's how it ends. Wow. What a finish to that one. Ryan was up. Let's, well, you know, I normally don't do this, but let's just look at the board right before that happened. Okay, so here's what the board looked like. So Ryan was up 4 in Central. He was up 8 in South, so that's 12. He was up another 6 in Africa, so that's 18. And he was up another 3 in the Middle East, so that's 21. -1 for China is 20. -5 for Europe is 15. And -3 on the VP track is 12. Now, presumably, Browning is going to use missile envy. Let's say he uses it to take Brazil back. That gives Browning another 3 VPs, so it makes it 9. And then if you assume that Ryan, I don't know, overprotects all his Asian battlegrounds with Kennedy, then is one Mexico, one Botswana, one Mexico's 4. One Botswana is another 3. One Iran is 3. And then one... Oh, and then one Panama is another... That gives Dom and Central, right? So one Panama is gives Browning a Dom and Central, so that which would give him three more. So Mexico 3, Panama, or Mexico 4, Panama another 3, Iran 3, so that's 10, and then Botswana would be 3 as well. So that's 13 VPs that Browning could find with VOA. And then Ryan would have been up by, call it, before that, Ryan would have been up with 4 in Central, 5 South, 6 in Africa, so 15, 18 with the Middle East, 20 with Milops. Ryan would have been up 17, 16 with China, and he would have been able to find 13 with VOA. So I think Ryan had it in final if he just overprotects his Asian battlegrounds, unless I'm seeing something else. But I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That was a really fun one to comment on. Swung back and forth, and yeah, Browning I think just decided that he had to know Cal was out there, but I think it seems like Browning just decided that his only path was to steal a big card and then force Ryan into just playing 2 ops on AR7, which would have made VOA quite powerful, because VOA then, if Ryan could only play 2 ops on AR7, just 1 out of Asia would have been 5. Then he still would have gotten the 7 VP swing in Central America, so that would have been 12, and then 1 in Africa for 3 more would have been 15. So, and that's true. Yes, Ryan is right. With 2 ops, if Ryan plays 2 ops on AR7, he breaks Europe, which is better than overprotecting the Asian battlegrounds. That's true. With just Ryan would have AR7 would have broken Europe with Kennedy, not overprotecting the Asian battlegrounds. So that would have made VOA stronger. But of course, Europe would have that would have been 5 VPs different in Europe. So yeah, I think Ryan probably did have this one in final. If just Missile Envy for 2 ops was Browning's best play on AR6, and then AR7 was VOA. So a lot of me talking at the end, but fascinating board position and an interesting end to this one. Probably a reasonable risk there by Browning, because he knew he knew he needed to make something happen. So thank you everybody for watching. This was a fun one. Congrats to Ryan for making the playoffs in Atlantic League. Looking forward to Ryan versus Josiah, which will decide the championship of Group C. Sorry, Gabriel, that you'll be missing the playoffs this year, but you'll have your Atlantic Championship from last year to hang your hat on, and flags fly forever. But until next time, this is Justin Abramson. That was fun, but now it's done. So long, everybody.